In this video, we will discuss genus Entamoeba. They are grouped based on their nucleates. And the first group is amoeba with 8 nucleate cyst is called as coli group. And example for this group is Entamoeba coli. It is not Escherichia coli. Please note that this is Entamoeba coli. And the next group is Entamoeba with quadrinucleate cyst. It is called as Histolytica group. And the classical example for this group is Entamoeba histolytica. And the next one is Entamoeba uninucleate cyst. It is also called as Bovis group. And Entamoeba bovis, Entamoeba ovis are the examples. And the next one is Entamoeba cyst are unknown nucleate, which include Entamoeba equibaccalis. And among these, only Entamoeba histolytica is the pathogenic for the mammals. Now let us come to the Entamoeba histolytica. Disease called as amoebic dysentery in man or amoebiasis or amoebiosis. It is also called as amoebic liver abscess, hepatic amoebiosis, amoebic granuloma, and pulmonary amoebiasis, cerebral amoebiasis. Location of the Entamoeba histolytica is large intestine, especially more common site are ileocecal junction and sigmoid flexure of the colon, and extra-intestinally in liver, lung, brain, subcut and spleen. Host include man and other primates. Cattle is a rare. Let us come to the morphology. Trophozoite stage and cyst stage are the two morphological distinct features of the Entamoeba histolytica. Trophozoite stage of the Entamoeba histolytica is active stage. It has finely granular endoplasm with hyaline ectoplasm and a single spherical nucleus is there. Active trophozoites also possess photopacules which contain RBCs. Now let us come to the cyst morphology. Cysts are spherical. Initially they are uninucleate, but finally they become four nucleate, that is quadrinucleate cyst. This is the structure of trophozoite. The food vacuoles containing RBC and pseudopod, cytoplasm. Now this is cyst. Now let us come to the life cycle. Life cycle is direct, that is monoxenous, and infection is by ingestion of the contaminated food and water with the cyst. The trophozoites multiply by binary fission. Excitement of the cyst will occur in the small intestine, leading to the liberation of tetranuclear metacystic form come out. From then, it undergoes series of nuclear and cytoplasmic divisions, resulting in production of 8 small uninuclear amoebulae. Then they pass into large intestine and grow bigger, feeding on the bacteria, tissue debris and RBCs. These trophozoites remain in the lumen and invade the tissues, multiply by binary fission. They are active with pseudophodia. The large amoebae divide, producing smaller forms. They expel food particles, round up and cease to feed, and then they insist to become uninucleate cyst. Following nuclear division, it becomes first binucleate and then finally quadrinucleate cyst is produced. Cysts are the most infective stage and they are passed in the feces whenever they are in quadrinucleate stage. When ingested by susceptible host, metacystic stages emerge, following which 8 nucleate amoebulae are released. In formed stool, especially from chronic infection, cysts are passed in the stool. In direct stool, that is an acute infection, vegetative forms, that is nothing but the trophozoites are passed especially in the mucus or blood clots. When it comes to the transmission, the disease is transmitted by contaminated food, water, raw vegetables, cultivated with night soil sewage. And various flies such as musca can also transmit the disease. Now, let us come to the pathogenesis. Large forms produce considerable pathogenesis. Trophozoites are the invasive stage. They invade the epithelial cells, causing lysis and pressure atrophy. Now, let us come to the different forms of the amoebiosis. The first one is intestinal amoebiosis. Following the invasion of the epithelium amoeba multiply to form small colonies and then penetrate into deep mucosa, which reach submucosa and even into muscularis. And then they produce a pathognomic lesion in the mucosa of the intestinal epithelium. Those are called as flask-shaped ulcers. These flask-shaped ulcers are the pathognomic lesions in the intestinal amoebiosis. And the principal site of initial lesion is seen in vermiform appendix and also in ascending colon. Now let us come to the next form of the disease is amoeboic granuloma, in which amoeba penetrate more deeply into intestinal wall with invasive of bacteria, hyperemia, inflammation, neutrophilic infiltration, which leads to the formation of ulcers. In severe cases, there is perforation of the intestinal wall will going to happen and that will cause the extraintestinal systemic disease or systemic amoebiosis along with peritonitis. Now let us come to the extraintestinal amoebiosis, which include hepatic amoebiosis. Amoeba may invade other tissues, almost all soft tissues, and the most commonest location is liver, especially the right lobe of the liver. By portal circulation, the Entamoeba histolytica will reach the liver where it will cause the hepatic amoeboic abscess, in which amoeba trapped in thrombi in the interlobular vein leads to the lysis of the wall of the vessel, and following these lesions increase in size, enlarged one or two may form the hepatic amoeboic abscess. Amoeba may also be seen in lungs, brain, spleen, and rarely in skin also. Now let us come to the symptoms of the disease. There is acute, subacute, and chronic stages are there, and the chronic is most common. Acute with blood with mucus, that is nothing but dysentery, and here tenderness over the colon, liver colic, loose morning stool is there, and mucus diarrhea is there. There is loss of weight, fatigue, offensive odor, and tenesmus. The meaning of tenesmus is increased tendency of defecation. To diagnose the disease, it can be based on the clinical signs, history, evidence in the endemic area, and it can be based on the symptoms and other investigation. Sigmoidoscopy, in which appearance of mucosa of large intestine is noticed, and in skiagram, it will diagnose the hepatic and intestinal pulmonary disease. And cultural methods such as spatial medium can be used to demonstrate the presence of the parasite. In direct stool, there is trophozoites. Those are the active, motile, find in the acute stage, and cysts are seen in the chronic stage. It can be stained by hematoxylin stain. In coproscopy, stained with Heidenheim's iron hematoxylin stain, which will lead to the identification of trophozoites or cyst stage in the fecal smear. Staining fecal smears and making culture by using Lyman's media. Hamsters are used as the animal inoculation method, and immune diagnosis such as latex agglutination, AGPT, IFAT, and ELISA can also be employed. It is treated by using antibiotics with supportive therapy. The line of treatment include using specific drugs, then supportive therapy. To prevent the disease, one should maintain good sanitation, improved sewage disposal, and water supply system should be built without cross connections, personal hygiene, avoid eating raw vegetables, and boil the water for 5 minutes, and conducting repeated mass chemotherapy with metronidazole in the endemic area. And in temperate countries, routine stool examination is recommended for residing visitors from the tropics. This is about the genus Entamoeba, where we discussed Entamoeba histolytica, its pathogenesis, clinical signs, symptoms, its treatment and control aspect. Thank you.